So exfoliation. A lot of us know exfoliation to be a key step in our home skincare routine, and in this treatment room as well, and in skin centres we're encouraging exfoliation more and more and increasing the exfoliation levels for you on a progressive scale. But I wanted to try and give you a little bit more knowledge on exfoliation so you can really try and understand its importance and why it's being recommended so much. So exfoliating at home, you are probably quite used to having a product with a grain type or an abrasive inside that. That's what we call a physical exfoliation, because it is actually doing some motion to try and slough off the dead skin cells on the surface of the skin. But we're also increasingly seeing more chemical types of exfoliation come up, which can even include things like your salicylic acid, lactic acids. So now we're also finding developing product lines are using these chemicals within things like cleansers and moisturizers, because if it's in a cleanser, you're going to get some of that dead skin come off and this cleanliness of the skin is enhanced. And also in the moisturizer or in a rebalancing product like a sort of a targeted acne or sebum targeted oil control product, they're actually there to try and utilize and break down some of this as well. Increasingly people want to refine their pores as well. But exfoliation, most people will understand, to brighten their skin, to make it feel smoother. And if you're on an investment time with your skin as well, and you really want to treatment target parts of your skin, and you want to progressively improve your skin, or if you actually want to set a goal and you want to do a prevention better than cure for the aging line, exfoliation come in as one of the key things to be doing on the skin. But the levels of what we're doing at home and in the treatment centres is starting to see this huge shift as well. And what you can do in salon will be completely different to what you can do at home. So when we're talking about exfoliation, we've got different layers of the skin. You've got your epidermis, which is this sort of top section of the skin, and then you've got your dermis. And your dermis is where you've got things like your blood capillaries, your fat cells as well, and this is your real structure and base of the skin. And the epidermis, this is what we're talking about when we're in skin centres and the treatment room, and this is what you're talking about also when you're at home. But the level of exfoliation that you're seeing within that epidermis is really broad spectrum of where you can reach. So at the very top of your epidermis is your stratum corneum. Now, I'm not going to keep going into all the technical names for you, but basically when you're using a physical scrub, you tend to be focusing more on this top layer. And so then when you're exfoliating at home, you are removing all those dead skin cells at the top. Now, as you can see in the epidermis, you've also got a different structure of skin cells. And it's basically where the skin cells have first formed with their nucleus. They look lovely and sort of segmented together and very solid. And as time goes and they progressively move up in this pattern, they sort of become a little bit less squish, like together squishness, and break down and sort of die back. So it's like a die-in process as they reach up to the surface. And this is what we know as your cell turnover. So constantly cells are being reproduced and re-pushed up to the next level in that system. So when we're doing light exfoliations and some of these lighter chemical exfoliations and physical exfoliants that you're seeing for retail and at home use, you're taking away this surface, and this is going to take off that dead skin cells that are naturally flaking off the skin as well. And then when you're putting your moisturizers on, you're actually going to be getting the true skin cells there that actually need that extra moisture and plumpness in them to hold them in the skin and to make the skin look a lot more sort of structured, fresh, revitalized too. When we are talking about higher levels of exfoliations in treatment rooms and into the pills, we're actually talking about this special glue that might sit between some of these skin cells to hold those skin cells on together. Once we're dissolving those skin cells, that glue, we can reach down to those skin cells, down to a much fresher looking skin cell on the surface. And the renewal rate and the repair rate of these obviously going to take a little bit more time as well for you to really rebuild that until you're starting to see all those flaky dead skin cells on the top again. So the whole reason we are excited about exfoliation when it comes to us therapists is that cell turnover, just like everything else, has its own metabolic rate, that basically slows down with age, and so it's a very massive anti-aging property. And when you have a marker of skin or something that won't heal from like a breakout or trauma on the skin, you want to try and freshen that up and lighten it. We want to improve that cell turnover rate and encourage new, fresher skin cells. So your body will automatically like to have a certain number of cells in that constantly, and if you're taking away those dead ones on the top and the ones that are then waiting to be shedded on the next level, you're actually going to be stimulating that encouragement. So someone said to me quite recent actually, do we need to exfoliate? Aren't we exfoliating? If we exfoliate too much and too deeply, aren't we actually causing more damage and more trauma within the skin? You're not. And there's a skin health is what we are focusing on. When I'm talking and I'm referring to our dermatological products, our main goals and focus is for skin health, not to actually do something to the skin that is going to cause damage. So with that cell renewal rate, we're talking something like in your 20s taking about 14 days, 2 weeks to renew. But when you're going up to sort of your 30s, it might be taking 30 days, 35 days to be able to renew. So it's slowed down so much. And when you're talking into your 50s, 60s, you can go right up to 50, 60 days of that cell turnover, really slowing down quite a lot. So if we're keeping that stimulation going, we are keeping fresh new cells coming in. And to me, it's just like that investment that you would see in doing your diet or your detox and doing some exercise. You are increasing your blood flow, you're increasing your metabolic rate when you're dieting and you're eating healthy or you're going to the exercise. It's basically an exercise for your skin when we're exfoliating. So see it like that. Yes, there are much stronger products and chemicals and acids out on the market, and we're leading into sort of a conversation there on pills. But when you're talking skin centres with therapists, we are technically allowed to treat that epidermis. The dermis layer will be your medical practitioner's work, and even in the medical practitioner work, that are extreme cases and very advanced cases where those sort of pills and those exfoliation levels are reaching. And you're talking about someone with severe scarring, severe pigmentation, and it's a very different topic, and the pills as well are very different topics. So when you're in a skincare centre, be trusted and feel safe in the knowledge that we are legally and technical allowed certain level strengths of chemicals, exfoliations, and the advice as well to be taken properly from whether we say how regularly that your skin may need it. You may find that you've got a very productive oily skin type, and that oil actually holds on to some of those dead skin cells, so the regular exfoliation can help a little bit more. But then we might advise a slightly softer exfoliation for a daily use, and then a slightly more advanced once or twice a week. Whereas if you've got someone with a very fine skin type, much more sensitivity, you may find that we're only offering a very mild exfoliation for regular use at home, and something a bit softer, and talking about more repair as well in the skin. So exfoliation doesn't mean that you have to go all guns blazing and you've got to be doing it 3-4 times a week. It doesn't mean more is better. Sometimes the less rule definitely applies with allergies and sensitivity skins. But you can see the very importance of what we're treating. We can treat pigmentation, we can treat breakouts, and that breakout sort of scarring and pigment that gets left behind from a spot. You can help things like eczema on the skin when you're talking sensitivity, if we're doing it in a very safe, controlled way. And even with the pills, you can really advance into things like lines, really stubborn pigmentation, stubborn sort of scar mark from recent breakout activity as well. So you can see that depending on the needs of your skin as to what type of exfoliation, how often, and how advanced we can progress that. So that's the key point there, is when you're looking at exfoliation for your skin, if you want to push your skin's boundary into something new, then you really need to get that advice and come in and talk about which product might be best suitable for your skin type, and also whether you can progress the actual salon treatment or into a pill mode, and whether you need to have that regular or just as a booster now and again or at certain times. So exfoliation is key, and I hope people get excited about actually exfoliating as well to see the benefits of it. And definitely that key fact that I said at the beginning, if you're investing into any specific treatment products, vitamin products, hydration products, some advanced technology products that might be giving you extra boost that you've had to pay that little bit more money for, then it's very important that you're doing the exfoliation at the right level to be able to make full maximum benefit of it. So hopefully I've explained a little bit about exfoliation for you.